What is up, everybody? What is up, Division 3 fellow dropouts? We're here with another edition of the D3 Dropouts. I'm here with my co-host, switching it up. I'm going to do a little bit of the intro. I'm introducing you this time. B-Dog, what's going on, brother?
You know what? Not much, Connor. It's been a while since we recorded one of these.
Yeah, it's been about a week.
Yeah, it's sorry for the break. We had some personal things to take care of. Hopefully we don't have to do that anymore. But we got a good show for you guys today, kind of like just some headlines around stuff that we missed over the past week. We're just going to cover it.
Yeah.
We'll just get into the biggest news because we're
Okay,
both Lions fans.
Sure.
Stafford, he's going to the Rams.
Woo!
Got Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks for next year and the year after, and then their third round this year, right? Or second.
It's one next year, one the year after, and I think a third round next year.
Okay.
And then Jared Goff.
Yeah. So, overall, I think this is what I have written down real quick. Long term, I think that the Lions come out on top of this trade. Right now, I think Stafford helps the Rams more than Goff helps the Lions right now, like in the present.
Yeah, I think I honestly think it's a steal for the Lions. I'm so happy thinking about this trade. I'm very happy that the Lions are in this purgatory of always being not complete dog, at least the last 10 years, in a half rebuild, half go, where they've never really truly tried to rebuild a team that's really has not been a playoff team.
Now they are.
Sure, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now they are committing to a full rebuild. And I appreciate that. Obviously, we have a new GM, new head coach who signed a 7-year deal.
Mm-hmm. There's
a lot to look forward to. I do agree. I think right now it makes the Lions worse.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's a true rebuild move, and it does. I don't think it makes the Rams per se the favorite in the NFC still.
Yeah, I don't think it makes them a favorite. I think it definitely, like we said, it definitely helps them. But I've seen like some headlines that are saying that now this is just Stafford. Stafford's gonna have like a 2020 Rodgers-esque season where he's gonna go out, but that would be the quarterback again. We don't know. The Rams are not. I don't know. It's hard to. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders.
So listen to this stat. The Rams are going to go 7 years without picking in the first round because of this trade.
Yeah.
Picked in the last 4, and they're going to add another 3 years to that.
That's crazy because I'm pretty sure their last draft pick was Aaron Donald. Their last first round draft pick was Jared Goff.
Yeah, Goff.
So both of their draft picks were good, but they kind of are fucking over their future of the franchise.
Yeah, it's I think with Stafford, the Stafford move, it now gives you a 3-year window to be a legit their thought is, I think Stafford gives you a 3-year window to go ahead and try and win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
In Sean McVay's offense, you'd like to think that Stafford gives you a much better chance than Jared Goff.
Definitely. I agree with that.
And I think you're getting rid of Jared Goff's contract because Jared Goff is very overpaid past his rookie deal, as he hasn't quite lived up to his past rookie deal.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to talk about, though, is where does this leave on Stafford's legacy? Because to me, if Stafford doesn't go to an NFC championship game, a deep playoff run in the next 2 years,
then it says something about him.
Yeah, people talk about how Stafford is a Hall of Famer in the worst situation. Now he has to prove it.
Yeah.
If he can't do that, then it looks what Stafford did on the Lions is held higher in my regard. Him not winning anything on the Lions.
But he turned that team around, kind of.
Pardon?
Is that what you're saying? Like he turned that franchise not around, but semi-around. I would say he did a 180 instead of a 360.
Well, the stats are there, right? The stats are there where he's been a top 10 quarterback in the league for the last decade, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone talks about how, again, he's a Hall of Fame talent in a bad situation. You don't talk about Stafford. He's so underrated. Well, now he is in a spot where he can no longer be underrated.
Mm-hmm.
If he's underrated, he's in one of the biggest markets in the world for sports, LA.
Yes.
He's playing in Sean McVay's offense, a team that went to the second round of the divisional series of the playoffs without him.
And
They're
went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago, right?
3 years ago, yeah. And
They got fucked by the
I think
Patriots, but
it was 10-7. It was that
yeah,
nasty, like
13-3. I
defensive
thought it
game.
was 13-3.
10-3, yeah,
Yeah,
something like
it
that.
was really bad, but
Yeah. So I think the pressure on like for this trade and like where you see who really wins is in Stafford.
yep.
Stafford has to win. If
Mhm.
Stafford can't lead them to a playoffs, I don't think he's underrated anymore. You can't say that because he has all the tools now to go and win himself something that he couldn't do in Detroit.
Yep. I agree. And I actually saw, I don't know if we talked about this already. This was just kind of like giggly. I saw this on Twitter. Some dad tweeted, he was like, so now are we rooting for Stafford like when Verlander went to the Astros and we still rooted for him? What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yes.
mean, how could I think it's pretty unfair. I think it's a minority because I do think most people are in fact rooting for Stafford to do well in LA. I am. It's not like he signed elsewhere. He wasn't a free agent. Didn't sign elsewhere. We were the ones that said, "Hey, it's time to move on." Obviously, Stafford's um, on the way out of his career as opposed to on the way in,
Oh,
and
definitely. Yeah, he's on the backside.
with him at his current level of play, so it's time to truly commit to that rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm going to root for him. The only thing I don't see is when someone or don't root for someone when they leave is when they choose to leave in free agency and they don't really have great things to say about like my city or my team.
Yeah.
That's when I think you root against someone.
Yeah. I think Verlander and Stafford are honestly like very comparable in their trades, kind of. Just because,
Yeah.
like, I think, what was I just about to say? Stafford is like, he's like it's hard, like, I'm just going to say it as plain as I can. He's a good guy. So
Yeah.
is Verlander. They're both just good, like, hearted people.
They were good for the city. They did a lot of good for Detroit.
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't like he bailed on Detroit. We decided to part ways. It was time. Um, and you can't root against someone when it's not like they were a villain in the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you root against someone. In this case, I'm rooting for Stafford to get the job done in LA.
Yep. And then the last little headline about the Stafford thing. Did you see that he actually did come out and say he wanted to go anywhere but the Patriots? Did you see that? I think that was funny. Just
That
because
is funny.
didn't Patricia go back?
Yeah, Patricia is back in some way.
Yeah.
Assistant, like weird,
Mm-hmm.
like he has to work himself up the totem pole again in New England. Kind of funny.
Yep.
I think that just speaks to how
Yes.
a shitbag he was in Detroit. I can't looking for the word.
So obviously people didn't like him, but moving on from, we'll just kind of transition into actually people who cities do hate. James Harden, just a quick little NBA. Did you see that Stephen A. Smith and all these ESPN analysts are projecting that the Nets are going to go to the NBA Finals? And
They're 13-9 right now, correct?
Yeah. They're I think it's pathetic. I think James Harden is actively making the city of Houston hate him more and more because he's at a healthy weight now and he's dropping like 45 points a game.
Yeah.
He just threw a full court pass last night to beat the Clippers in like the final seconds.
Yeah, like I said, that Stafford situation is something that you don't root against the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Harden is what I said is
the complete opposite
of what I said to root against someone if you're from Houston or a Houston Rockets fan.
Mm-hmm.
Do I necessarily? I think Harden treated it the wrong way. To be honest, I think what he did was immature.
Totally.
Professional athlete getting paid millions of dollars. You have a contract that you'll show up in the best shape and play to the best of your ability. If you want to trade, you have to trust that the organization, out of respect, will get that done for you.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that. You disrespected the organization and the fan base and forced them to make that trade.
Yeah. So we'll kind of keep seeing how that goes, but I know right now that they're on a hot streak. Their defense isn't amazing because they have Kyrie and James, obviously, but
yeah,
KD's a defensive stud, so they'll be okay, I think.
Other NBA news I'd like to bring up today is did you see LeBron getting absolutely
that was my next
by this like trophy wife?
I did. That was the next topic, so we can just go right into that. I think we both share a hatred for LeBron James. I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about LeBron.
Okay. I hate LeBron. I do. He's not I don't I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not saying he's a bad basketball player. I just don't like him. And I think what he
Yeah.
did getting them kicked out is very childish.
Yeah, honestly, I lean on LeBron's side in this situation. I think it's a joke that we do like have to like that like he like is so soft that he had to like
Yeah.
there's like 25 people or whatever in there. It's the only stadium in the nation that's allowing fans to sit courtside.
Mm-hmm.
Can't like okay. So at NBA, this is kind of a thing in NBA games, and that like you like shit talk someone from the stands, and then they go off on a run. There's so many examples of like guys like pointing into the crowd at someone
Yeah.
talking them. So someone brought it up to me. If this wasn't a COVID situation and they were the only people, and they were not the only people, like it was normal, like seating full
Mm-hmm.
capacity, this would not have been as big of a deal as like
Yep.
LeBron made it. It
I
was
agree.
there's no one there. And I think it's in your head that you don't have to like you're not going to hear that shit talk that like smack and then like I think just LeBron overreacted at a certain extent. But I also think she like deserved to be kicked out for what she like you can't just sit there and
Yeah.
just
I think so when it comes to the girl, I think that she, like you said, she overreacted. She was like up, standing, screaming.
yeah, and
That's
has her
that's
phone out like
that's where you
video
got
like
to
are
draw the
you
line.
kidding me like grow up you're
But the way it started was the husband was
60-year-old.
shit talking LeBron, and then
Yeah.
LeBron said something back to said something back to the
Yeah,
husband.
LeBron said like "shut up, you bitch" or
Yeah,
something.
like why do you even need to
Yeah, you're LeBron James. You make
exactly?
$45 million. Why are you responding to some rich like fat d bag?
Yeah,
Like,
like yes, he's a D-bag, but that happens at every game. There's gonna be people who don't fucking like you. Get over it. Like
yeah,
the girl, I get it. She got kicked out. But I do want to say those people, I don't know if this is true. I saw somewhere that they paid like an upwards of 5 grand for those seats. That's like to me, LeBron just came out 2 days ago and said he like wants fans in there. He doesn't like it with no fans. He's like, let him in. And now he's like kicking people out. I don't know. He needs to choose. That's
and did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? It was like, they got luckily no players like got near them during the altercation, but however the officials had to get close to them and like they weren't wearing a mask while they were doing all
yeah.
this during this whole altercation. So like I really hope that everyone's safe and doesn't get COVID. Like shut up.
Yeah, now he like spun it to like make it on them like, "Oh, fuck them. They're not wearing masks." Which I don't think if you look at if you go back and look at the tape, I don't think anybody on the sidelines for watching was wearing a mask. I'm going to be
No.
honest. So, I think he just called them out for something that most people in the stands were not. But I saw that, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's gold." Yeah, that's
LeBron's
gold.
a clown. LeBron is just a clown.
It's an absolute yeah.
LeBron's a clown for literally making fun of a trophy wife who wore so much makeup that she looked like a clown herself.
Yeah. Literally like she's not even like that good looking.
Oh, we're getting into that.
All right, no, we won't get into that. We're gonna cut that out.
No. I mean, I think all you need to know is she was 25 and married to a 60-year-old.
And I did see that the
Getting
60-year-old's his Instagram name is Daddy Carlos.
Yeah, he's some steroid freak,
Yeah,
right?
he's like a very weird like guy. So I get it why maybe he would get made fun of a little bit, but LeBron James, come on, dude, you're making fucking ass loads of money
Yeah.
to play for these people. Like, just play, dude. Some
Take
people
a
aren't
joke.
going to. Yep.
Take a joke.
So moving on from that, last night we were talking a little bit about college basketball. I didn't end up seeing how Michigan State did, so you can I don't know. Did they win?
No,
Oh,
they lost again.
fuck.
They are so bad. It's hard for me to even put like it's hard for me to even like look at you and have a conversation about them. They're 8-7. Actually, it was a much better effort last night. They hung around for a lot longer than I thought. They were leading most of the first half, and then
They
We
play?
didn't have an answer for Luka Garza. There was a lot of soft fouls, I think, on Luka Garza. I think he gets. Kind of think he gets a lot of calls now.
I think he gets a lot of calls because he's like at that stature where refs are like, okay, this kid's good. So
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to say LeBron
no,
James.
yeah, no.
When you're like when you're the notified best player in the Big Ten, like you're looked out for a little more like LeBron is in the NBA.
Like I'm trying to think of someone like that one guy from MSU a couple of years ago. It was Denzel Valentine. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was stud. He got a lot of calls. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, like our big guys got like Bingham and Kithier and Hauser all got into foul trouble kind of late. We didn't really have anybody that could guard him, and it kind of came down the stretch. I want to say we lost by 5 or 6. Came down the stretch, and that like we were having a harder time scoring. They were scoring at will, and like we had a much better offensive performance than we have because it's been dog shit before that. But like we had a hard time scoring, and they were going to score, so we had to answer every time, and we started to not.
Yeah.
We couldn't keep up with them for whatever it is, 40 minutes.
Speaking of not being able to keep up, the other game that we were talking about, Baylor, undefeated Baylor went in last night against Texas. It was a top 10 matchup. So that's and I thought it was going to be close. It was close for a while, actually.
It was, yeah.
You said it was 44-45.
In the second half, yeah.
Did you see that the one Texas kid got a technical foul for dunking?
I actually saw it live. Yeah, no, it wasn't the dunk. I thought it was a technical foul. The people I was watching the game with thought it was soft, but like there had been like kind of the Baylor coach had yelled at like the Texas bench like right before that.
Okay.
So I think there was some kind of like tension flying around, and then like I'm sure this dunk that it was on Sportsman this morning.
For sure. He fucking postered him.
Oh, he posted like could not be more stereotypical. Put him on a poster like in your bedroom material. Yes. And then he like the guy's on the ground and he like hovers over him for maybe a second too long is for my liking, but like yeah, maybe it was a little bit of a weak call. But I think it was more there were prior to that there were altercations between the teammates that anything close to resembling unsportsmanlike was going to get called for attack, and that's just what it was.
Yeah. So that game ended up, I think, let me see,
83-69,
which is
it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same deal as the Michigan State game, in that like Baylor was having no problem scoring like down the stretch, and Texas was also having a good offensive game, and then it just kind of like
slowed down.
You stop, you miss 1 or 2 open looks in a row, and next thing you know, a 4-point game is now a 10-point game.
Yep. It's college basketball, and I'm actually really excited because we're getting close to March Madness, so we'll have so much shit to talk about. It'll be great. But just something to watch. Baylor is still undefeated. So
yeah.
And they're not even the number 1 team in the country.
Zags
are honestly, I say in a head-to-head, Baylor wins.
No, Gonzaga is so good.
But
Gonzaga has like all 5.
I've only watched like 2 of their games. So, but I mean,
Gonzaga beat Iowa by like 20.
Okay. So, and Iowa's fucking the best team in the Big Ten. So right now they are, at least. Michigan's still in their COVID break, right? For all athletics.
Yep. They got that.
It got extended, I think.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, for 4 days. But another, not Michigan, the college, Michigan, the state news, we're kind of open. We're starting 10 p.m. curfew, but restaurants are open.
Yeah.
Have you been out to eat?
What?
Have you been out to eat?
I have not yet. Grind this week, so I haven't been able to get out. I'm going tomorrow out to a place for the first time.
All right. Yeah, I went to breakfast this morning. I went to Leo's, got a little interaction. It was nice. It was nice to sit down.
You got some interaction?
I got some human interaction. It was nice.
Who'd you go with?
Just my dad.
Oh.
Yeah, he took me to lunch or breakfast. So there's no like easy way to funnel into our next topic. We already talked about Jared Porter, who was the Mets guy he's fired. He's done for sending his dick around to that one female reporter.
Sending his dick 68 times.
68 times unanswered. Now
I'm surprised he didn't send it one more. That would have been super appropriate for what he was doing.
he was just like, come on, respond.
Yeah.
That would get someone to respond with like an ew or something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But still in the Mets organization. Unfortunate for the Mets. Their ex-manager. He's not the manager anymore. He's the pitching coach for the Angels, I think. But let me read the headline. It was sexual misconduct, 5 female sports reporters. He solicited for nude photos, sent shirtless and topless and pantless pics, and then sent this text to a reporter. It's so fucking weird. He basically said, like, he told this girl that doctor told him that it's healthier to sleep completely naked. And then he says he does it every night, and he's like, you should try it. It's really good for your skin and for your breasts. That was the first text. The immediate text after that was, here I go, hopping into bed, completely naked. Wish you were here. I was like, dude, you are a fucking weirdo.
Dude, I don't know what these old freaks expect. Like, do you think like other like young female girls want to see your hairy ass like 3-inch cock?
Yeah, no, I don't get it. I think it's because they have money. They think like these young female girls are like drooling over them, and they're not.
Dude, your ball hairs are all gray. No one wants to see that.
50 Shades of Gray from the neck down. So
yeah, 50 Shades of I don't want to see that.
So he did get put on suspension by the Angels, obviously, just during the investigation. But what do you think about this? Just it all being connected to the Mets, I guess. What do you think about this? What do you think about it? First impression.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. The Mets are kind of a mess of an organization. That's why they've had so many ownership problems. But like, I have friends that are Mets fans, and I just kind of feel bad that they're in such a negative spotlight all the time. And all that, they had Syndergaard. What's the
Lindor?
He's basically the best pitcher in baseball.
Oh, but they got Lindor too.
On the Mets, yeah, I saw that. Who's not? This is embarrassing that I can't think of his name.
It's not Syndergaard, but he's
good.
It's
Syndergaard has fallen off.
I'm trying to think. I know he's tall, right?
He's tall, skinny guy.
Yeah.
Right. Throws 100.
Is it Wainwright?
No. This is bad. We're a sports podcast and we don't even know.
This is so embarrassing. Guys, shit on us in the comments. This is so bad. Yeah, you can look it up real quick. I'll keep everyone.
DeGrom.
Oh.
DeGrom.
Okay. DeGrom.
What I'm saying is that during all this, they had Syndergaard, DeGrom, Matt Harvey before he decided to not be good anymore, and a young Steven Matz all in one rotation, and they made it to one World Series. It's similar to the Tigers kind of deal where they had that insane staff in the early 10s. Although this is mid 10s for the Mets, and they couldn't get it done.
So do you think it's the curse of the Mets coming back? Just fucking them.
There's similar to the curse of the Mets. I think the only way to change this is to let J-Lo buy the team. J-Lo and A-Rod buy the team.
I mean, here's what I'm going to say. Dude, you're actually like 4 for 4 on transitions into next topics today, but we're going to keep these linked. Steve Cohen, who's the owner of the Mets.
Yep.
Did you see he got bullied off of Twitter?
No, I didn't.
By Dave Portnoy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So basically, to what you were saying about J-Lo and A-Rod owning the team, a lot of people are not happy with Steve Cohen right now because he bailed out that massive hedge fund a couple days ago. He was already invested $1 billion. Then he gave them $2 billion more to get them out of the hole. So it's $3 billion. People are thinking like, dude, where's your money? Like, where's your money going? If it's all going to these places, what the fuck? Like, what are the Mets doing basically?
Yeah. Like Robin Hood shit. He's bailing out Robin Hood for all that. Yeah.
So have you been up on that at all or no?
Yeah, I think Portnoy was overreacting to the whole Robin Hood shutting down for a couple days.
But he's actually right. Did you see that? Actually, there was something illegal going on.
Well, I mean, they're technically shouldn't be allowed or are not being allowed to do this. But to me, the point of Robinhood, it literally Robinhood,
Yes.
so that regular people can have a simple, easy, dumbed down way to invest in stocks. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
However, the market is meant to inflict on companies that are doing well in the current economy and is meant to overall reflect how the current state of the economy is in the United States.
Yeah, that's fair.
When we have people, I'm not saying it's wrong because I do. At the end of the day, I think it's right. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
So people, well, for the people listening, the people that you're talking about are like the Reddit people, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And
Okay.
whoever is listening to
Yes.
them.
Mm-hmm.
By investing in companies that are clearly going out of business and not doing well, it's screwing up the market, and it's eventually going to cause more problems in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And what Robinhood did by not allowing people to buy more stocks or sell, whatever they actually did with
was to help. Sorry, go ahead.
You're right. Was to help those people that really, at the end of the day, don't understand how the market works.
Yeah.
Was to help them from really ruining the market further and causing, at the end of the day, causing them more problems in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Well, short term, you're right. It's wrong, and they shouldn't be able to do that. The fact that they can shut down the market and choose who wants to sell, who wants to buy, who wants to invest.
Like you can't buy in, you can only sell out. That doesn't make sense. Like
that's where they're in the wrong, and
you
that
either
they don't
need to
really
freeze it fully or open it fully.
That's they don't really have the right to choose who invests.
Yes.
Like at the end of the day, yes, I think it's wrong that like that people are investing in these like dying companies and like screwing up it, but at the same time, like it's their money. It's part of the freedom of
being able to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just another devil's advocate to what you said. I'm not like arguing with you, but so let's just say a rebuttal point for what you said. Because all these Reddit people went on Reddit and said AMC and GameStop to the moon. That's what everyone's saying, right? And then they went and they did it. Why is that? I'm just asking, not trying to fight. Why is that any different than like when the big Wall Street firms all band together to short a stock?
Yeah, that's kind of where the argument comes in, is that like, to me,
shorting is stupid.
Hedge funds and those people on individuals, brokers on Wall Street are doing far more manipulative and shady stuff with the market with much more money than what Wall Street bets or whatever that Reddit.
Yeah. Like what? They took it from $8 to like $4.50. And then these big Wall Street companies are like Robinhood, pause this. They pause it. Now the stock is at, I'm pretty sure it's sub 100.
Yeah, it's they're trying where I do see where Portnoy is getting mad is that like they're trying to make investing in the stock market exclusive.
Yeah, like you have to have an education for it to do it, basically.
Yeah, not only that, but you have to have money,
the means. Yeah. And I think that's stupid. Why like if I want to invest my money in the stock market so that in a couple years I have more than I do now, like what's wrong with that?
Sure, but like when you're, again, I actually agree with you, but like the back and forth to this is like, then why are you investing in GameStop, who's about to go out of business?
That's true.
When you know, just because you're trying to drive it, you're simply it's got to go down, because as much as you like to think in the short term, it is going to go up if you get a bunch of people to invest in it.
Yeah.
Because that's how stocks go up. It eventually, like, the business is going to die out. And the stock, it's going to go down, and people are going to continue to sell just at that up, and people investing. It's also, people are going to sell it again at that fast rate. It's going to go down just as fast.
Yep. And it did. It literally did. It's really bad now. And I feel like bad for those people who put a lot of money into GameStop, made a lot of money in GameStop, and then said they were going to ride it out, and now they're really getting fucked.
Imagine buying AMC at $19.50 at the highest it's ever been in years, and now it's only back down to $9.
Yeah, it's just, it sucks to see it.
That's me. I did that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I bought it at the highest it was.
Oh.
Keep going up, and then Robinhood did their shit.
Yeah, no, it's see they screw people. They screwed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
No doubt. But obviously we're not like,
That's enough investment talk for today.
yeah, we don't know a ton about that, obviously. The other big news that just came out yesterday, NCAA football. It's
Ooh.
back, dude.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's
So
huge.
excited.
Huge. I think it's big for the brand of the NCAA, but not only that, for EA Sports. Because I don't think like any of their games are that good anymore. Like they're just repetitive now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just NBA 2K. Like I play 2K20. I have 2K19 and 2K20. There's no difference but the players really and the graphic. But I don't care about that. So
Yeah.
NCAA will be fun.
When you have a game that like people still play that is from like 2014 and the graphics are way behind the times now, um, I think it's a good investment to try and make a newer version of that game, and I think it's going to be sweet. And
I
I
think
think that now that players are starting to be able to get uh paid for interest in a lot of
mhm,
places now, it's starting to turn around where these college players are allowed to make money off their likedness.
mhm,
I think that just is just a helpful part in the process. I
absolutely.
see what they do with that in terms of like using players' names and that, as we are in a much different spot than we were in 2014.
Yep. And actually, to your point, I saw an interview that's with just someone who was a huge fan of NCAA. I don't. It was someone famous, but I don't remember their name. And they were basically saying, really, all they need is better graphics to have the stadiums newer, have the bands there, the music, and like the game modes. That's it, and the
Sure.
uniforms. That's
Yeah.
what makes it like the game. The players' numbers, the players. I don't think they're as worried about, but it would be cool. Um.
I agree.
So then the only other question I had for you: who do you put on the cover?
Yeah, I was
Because I saw Joe Burrow tweeted at NCAA football, and it's
so did
like,
Kyler.
yeah, a bunch of people. They were like, I've wanted this since I was a kid.
I think it's got to be kind of what they did in the
And
last, like in the past when the game was going every year, and
mm-hmm.
choose someone who just got drafted or was a big player and that just graduated. Like I believe Denard is on the latest one, and that
Yeah,
was
it's Denard, and then the one before that was RG3. So,
RG3. Yeah.
um,
So to me, you're looking at like a Trevor Lawrence or
yeah,
Justin
which is
Fields.
unfortunate because those guys, I hate to say it, but like, I would rather have Joe Burrow on the cover of my.
Yeah, there. To be honest, Trevor Lawrence is like a very boring public person.
He
Has
has a
been,
face for radio.
yeah,
Not a good-looking
he looks
guy.
like Sid from Ice Age.
Yeah, he's with long ass hair.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know how long do you know how long it takes to develop that or like how long it will? No.
No, I don't. I don't do the soft. I'm not a software developer,
We'll
so
yeah, we'll
I
keep
cannot give you
updated
a
on that.
timetable on that.
So then um the last thing for the podcast, I mean this is really short. I don't really the last thing I had was just two little things. Tom Brady, did you see he said it's very, very possible he plays past 45. Did you see
He's
that?
been saying that for a while. He's been saying his goal is 45. I also saw something like probably 2 years ago that he said to Giselle, he said, after I get one more.
Okay. So yeah.
So if that happens this year, then who knows? But my thing is like he's not like he's got more year. I wouldn't say he's got a ton of time, but he's definitely good enough to play next year.
Oh, totally. And
The thing I'm worried more about, sorry to cut you off,
no,
is him getting injured. As he
yeah.
gets older, it's going to be so like he's not. It's going to take longer for him to come back. Injuries are just going to start piling up, I think, as he gets older.
Yeah. It's and I actually wrote down so I wrote down the oldest ever player to play a game in every major sport. And I just thought this would be kind of a cool way to end it. We could talk about this real quick.
Sure.
So like he said, Tom Brady's 43 right now. So that would leave maybe 2 more years for him. Let's just say 2.
If I were a betting man, I think he plays next year. Oh, dude, it's just so difficult
Because
because
you got to wait till after the Super Bowl, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he plays next year no matter what happens.
Because of what he did to Tampa this year, like how he took him so far.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he goes back. But like outside of that, you don't know if he's gonna get hurt. You don't know if like he's gonna come back and be not the same player that he was this year. You don't know like if the Bucks are bad next year,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't, and it's because of him. Like
Yeah.
at that age, you just don't know. That I think I can only guarantee next year for him.
Like a great example of like a quarterback who got to an old age and realized that it was hurting his team, Brett Favre. He's
Yeah,
a great example of it. And Peyton Manning. Yes. Those are both. So I just wanted to go hockey. I knew the name of this person. It's kind of like he slid in on a technicality as the
is it
oldest
Yager?
player. It is not. He's the second. That's
Gordie
why
Howe.
yes. He played
Gordie Howe put.
one shift in 1980 when he was 69 years old.
Oh, he played like consistent in the NHL like into his early 50s.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so he was that makes him definitely the oldest like player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basketball, I've never heard of this guy, Nat Hickey. We can just guess the age. How old do you think he was?
Sounds like something a girl gives you on a Friday night.
Yep. 46 was the so basketball. I think basketball is more like you got to be conditioned, so
Yeah.
you can't play as long. Football,
LeBron's getting
yeah, LeBron will be. I think
to
LeBron will
40.
be the oldest player ever.
I don't know if he's gonna make it to 46.
You
Brendan.
don't think so? Well, he's been playing in the
Yeah.
league since he was 18.
That's
So
40. That's 10 more years. He's 36 years old. 35,
yeah.
whatever he is.
Okay, so that's fair. God, see, it's just
LeBron
very hard to
has. You're looking
compare.
at LeBron having 3 to 5 more years.
Can't wait for him to be done.
I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Can't wait. Football, Adam Vinatieri is the oldest player in the NFL right now. And then baseball. This was an interesting one. I thought it was Babe Ruth.
Is it an old player or
It is an older player. I know the name. You might know who he is. I just know the name. Satchel Paige.
Oh, yeah.
He was 59 and 363 days. So,
oh my God.
dude was almost 60 years old.
Jesus. He could have waited 2 more days to announce his retirement.
I know. That's crazy. So that's just longevity in the sports. I guess after like 40-ish, you see most people.
How old is Vinatieri?
I believe I have it pulled up right here. He's 48.
Yeah, great career, Hall of Fame kicker, but
he's a free agent now. He might be done.
he got dropped he like missed like I'm not like in like 4 games. The first 4 games last year, like for the Colts, I think he blew like 3 of the first 4 games because he missed like last second short field goals.
Yeah, he was my kicker.
Yeah, he was like, missing like every other extra point.
Yeah, it was it's just sad because he was good. He was very good.
Yeah, he won multiple Super Bowls with the Patriots.
And he got, I think these guys just try to like make it last a little bit longer than it actually should. Just because they're
it's interesting because I agree. Most people always think they're a little more like better than they are per se
but why is the question? Because they're making
one of the best examples of that of someone who didn't want to play unless he was going to be elite was Jordan.
Yes.
And even though Jordan was kind of mad at the end, he got out of there and recognized like when he was no longer the best. I think better than the best.
Yeah, and the question really that I was kind of pondering back and forth in my head, if you want to say, why do they try to prolong it so much? They're making hand over fist money, dude. Like literally hand over fist. One LeBron contract for either of us, we would never have to do anything for the literally 5 lifetimes. I just don't get it. You know what I mean though?
Yeah, I think it's pride. It depends on where you're at in your career. A lot of guys outside of the LeBrons and the superstars have not made enough to leave you set for life. Because like making $1 million a year. I mean, obviously, like you should be able to live off that very comfortably. Unless you're like investing and saving and don't have a lot of kids or don't have a family, like if you just you make $1 million a year and you don't have any form of financial plan or like saving program in place, like it is very easy to lose that kind of money. You look at like people that win the lottery.
Yep.
The statistics on those people going bankrupt are
very high.
Yeah, it's like more than half.
Because people just like impulse buy shit. And I see where you're coming from, but I also think like I'm trying to think of an example. This is not going to be accurate for the listeners, not very accurate, but Kyle Kuzma, not like a stud star NBA player. He's making like $4 million a year. Like that's to me, that's outrageous. And he might not be one of those players that tries to like longevitize. That's not a word. Overextend his career. But like, they're still not like these not good guys are still not making like shit money.
No, I know they're not, but they're not. You'd be surprised with someone with a family or someone that doesn't like has to pay for their parents because they didn't come from a good place. Like, there are situations where like that kind of money does not last you a lifetime or 2 lifetimes. You know, have to keep playing just to earn that last check. And I think a lot of it is just pride and like just wanting to like leave your legacy in your career and
go out the best that you could be.
And like you think about a lot of people that retire into their 30s.
Yep.
They've been playing professional, but they've been playing basketball. Well, I'm just gonna say basketball. They've been playing basketball their whole life. That's their whole life. They've been professional since they were like, early 20s. That's all they know. Like sometimes retiring is scary because it's like, what do I do with my time now? I'm only 40. I'm hardly middle-aged.
No, I totally agree. I think they see part of their life kind of like go away when they do that.
Oh, for sure.
And they just don't like it.
A lot of people talk about it is like it is you lose a part of you and you're like you don't know where to go next.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is a problem.
I just got an ESPN update that said even there's limits for the GOAT. And then the first bullet point under it was Tom Brady hates being called GOAT. It was just very funny because they called him the GOAT. I have a little stat to end the show for you today. Right. Tom Brady is tied for the third most AFC playoff wins of all time as for a quarterback. Does anything shock you about that stat?
The third most playoff wins all time? Yeah, that he's not the first, to be honest.
Well, that would shock you until I tell you the second part of it. He's been in the NFC for 25 years.
No, he's been in the AFC for 20. Patriots
are in the NFC.
No, he's in the NFC right now.
Or then flip that. I just said it wrong. He's tied for third most NFC wins of all time. And he's been in the AFC for 25 years. That's insane. It doesn't, but I literally took that off of ESPN's website.
It's got to be of active.
Is it of active? It might be active, but I'm pretty sure someone was on that list.
That's impossible. I feel like that's impossible because you look at like Aaron Rodgers I guess he only won 1 this year. So Brady's got 3. And he won 2 last. So Aaron Rodgers is 3 in the last 2 years. Drew Brees has 4 in the last 4 years.
All right. So the most postseason wins total is Tom Brady with 32, obviously. Yeah. Now
I think the next among quarterbacks is like 16 or something crazy.
So I'm trying to find this article. It's on ESPN, but it was like a couple days ago, so I might have to scroll. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it.
All right. We'll leave you with a stat that we don't know the answer to.
Yeah, I mean, I was very confident with that stat, and you just shit on it.
That's why we're dropouts. We come up with stats that we're really not sure if they're correct or not.
That's so weird. I don't remember where I saw like he's okay, so he definitely has the record for most. He holds the record for most postseason road wins as well. How many do you think he has of those? Because to go on the road in the playoffs and win is kind of hard.
I bet you he has 10.
A little more.
12.
13.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, dude is going to be, let's just say he plays next year. Dude will be 11 and goes to the Super Bowl. 11 for 22 Super Bowls versus seasons in his career.
Yeah, that's like asinine. Like I said, like when they won last week, like I'm like sick of it because literally our entire life has been like seeing Brady in the Super Bowl every other year. Like
as a starter, I should say, as a starter, because he was a backup for Drew Bledsoe for
half a year though.
Oh, I thought it was a year and a half.
No, it was his first year.
Okay, so either way, Tom Brady may be the greatest steal of all time in the 6th round draft.
Yeah,
ever. That's all I got for you guys today. Short little episode, bunch of headlines. Connor?
Yeah. Talk about the news, baby. That's what we do in Division 3 Dropouts. We're here to give you dropout takes of non-dropout news.
Absolutely. We're going to be coming at you guys not live, but another episode later this week, Super Bowl edition. We'll talk about picks. We'll talk about stats. We'll talk about some fun trivia. We'll get everything.
We'll talk about Gisele's booty.
Gisele's booty, if that may be one of the things we talk about. That's it from me. D3 Dropouts out. Connor?
There's no football. There's no me. Love you guys.
Peace.
Don't regret a thing, and I got this friend.